Welcome to another episode of Trek in the Valley, the non-encyclopedic Star Trek The Next Generation recap and rewatch podcast, where every week myself, Adam Ordal Quinnell, and my co-host...
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Al Hurt.
Mr. Al Hurt and I, we get together and we discuss an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. We give you a little run through of the episode, we give you a little review of the episode, and then we recommend some non-Star Trek related bullshit for you. In case you're somehow new to the podcast, 160 episodes in, plus episodes in, thank you.
You never know. What's up?
You indeed never do know, Al. I could never possibly know everybody that's listening. Agreed. So yeah, how have you been since the last time we talked 5 minutes ago?
I've been good.
Peeling
just
back the
weather
curtain.
turning up, you know.
The weather has turned up since our last recording?
About like a degree.
Oh no. Yeah, it's warm back here too.
No, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it was overcast earlier when I was running errands. But I think it's gonna be nice today. We're going to my brother's house, my brother and his wife's house, for Indian food and watch a movie or something this afternoon. Forcing ourselves to get out and do some hanging out. Have you got to hang out with your fiance's family at all lately?
Oh yeah, I mean, in fact, we are gonna go see Backrooms, now this is a week later, so we've already done that.
Oh, yeah. You've seen Backrooms, and know it was your new favorite movie.
See, I don't know. I'm excited for like a culmination of like SCP movies or something like that. That'd be cool, right?
What's an SCP?
It's like those fun little fake secret files on the internet.
Oh,
it's like this alien
footage.
could be like SPC number blah, 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 blah. And it's like just some completely made up fan fiction about some cool horror stories.
Yeah, your microphone is crackle-lacking a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Crazy. And yeah, that's about it. I don't really have any other. Oh, I did. Somebody almost road rage murdered us yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Actually, this would have been like a week ago. Well, so it was one of those things where like I had a green light and I was trying to go, and I was in like one of 3 lanes, and I didn't realize that the other 2 lanes had like stopped to let somebody who didn't have the right of way turn into a parking lot.
Yeah.
And I just went because I had the right of way, and the guy fucking turning through just laid on his horn, and I looked at him and I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I had the right of way.
Yeah.
And he whipped around and followed us to the vet like a fucking psychopath. And then like waited for a little while, and it was just a regular little, and I know you shouldn't fucking yell at people in traffic, especially in Los Angeles. That's how you get killed or whatever.
Know.
But the funny thing is my wife wants to flip everybody off in traffic, and I'm like, don't, you're going to get, somebody's going to get mad at us. We're going to get road rage murdered. And then it happens when I'm the one that gets mad at the guy. I was like, hey, at least it was me, and I can't say I told you so to you, you know? But then the one thing that she said that really fucked me up is she was like, I bet it's an off-duty cop. And I was like, don't fucking say that. That's the last thing I need in my head, is that some off-duty cop is mad at me and like, armed and has my license plate number. And has my, oh, dude, an axe that he's got a gun that's got an axe on it.
A tarp laid down.
It's a gun that shoots axes. But yeah, so let's talk about, well, here's the thing. Normally we do a little bit of what does Al remember, but I actually have a special game for this episode.
Okay.
This is this is a what does Al remember special edition game. So I know you have watched all of Deep Space Nine, correct?
Yes.
You've watched all of Voyager, correct? You finished it?
Yeah, but I didn't really I hopped in between.
Okay, whatever. But and you watched all of Enterprise. Did you see how Enterprise ended yet?
No, I didn't finish that.
But you have watched some of each one. Okay, so this this game is going to be name the series. So okay. I am going to read you an episode title, and you're going to tell me what series it is from.
Gotcha. Okay. I think we could do this.
So the first one is, the episode title is Defiant.
Defiant.
What series would that be from? And this is really going to set the tone, because this is a very easy one. So if like this one's tough for you, this game is not going to go well.
Defiant. I feel like they can all apply to each series.
Yeah, but there's one
probably Deep Space Nine. That's what I would think.
Deep Space Nine is what it is. Yeah, but it's because there's a ship named the Defiant on Deep Space Nine. So like that's what you got to think, like, what series do they say the word Defiant the most?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got that one. That's the point. Yeah. Good job. So next, number 2, Tuvix.
Tuvix is, let me think, it's Voyager.
Yes, that's the episode where...
what is it? It's
where Neelix and Tuvix get merged into one being.
Yes.
Okay, so that's good. You're doing good. You're 2 for 2. That's great. Now, the next one is Parallax.
Parallax. Oh, I just saw this one. Enterprise.
Nope. It's from Voyager.
What?
From season 1 of Voyager.
What?
Parallax.
God, you got me that one.
Well, I wasn't trying to get you. Hold on. Parallax. Let me make sure.
What happens
Voyager.
in that one?
I don't know.
Parallax.
Yeah, it's a Voyager episode investigating an apparent distress call, as usual. Voyager becomes trapped inside the event horizon of a quantum singularity.
Right.
Parallax. That's in season 1 of Voyager. And just so we can go back, Defiant is in season 3 of Deep Space Nine, and Tuvix is season 2 of Voyager.
All right. Let me try a couple more.
Well, I got them. There's a bunch more. Okay. We got 10 here. So Broken Bow.
Broken Bow.
I will tell you, this is the pilot. This is the first episode of one of those 3 series.
Oh, really? That's probably Enterprise.
You got it. Enterprise. Okay. Next one, season 1, the first episode. Next one, Civil Defense.
Oh, Civil Defense. I feel that's more... I was going to say DS9.
It is. Okay. It is Deep Space Nine. Oh, were you tricking me? You were like, no, I was going to say Deep Space Nine, and then you try and get me to jump on it.
Oh, Deep Space Nine and like Enterprise, somewhere in between there.
Yeah. No, you were correct. Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
And that was from season 3 of DS9. The next episode, Azati Prime.
Azati Prime.
What series do you think they go to the planet of Azati Prime?
We'll go to the planet. It's Voyager.
No,
wait. No, yeah.
You got it wrong. It's fine. Yeah. It's Enterprise.
Fuck.
They go to Azati
I would have gotten
Prime.
It wrong again because I was about to say DS9.
DS9, yeah. All right, so that's okay. So far, you've got 4 right and 2 wrong.
4.
And so you're doing a great job. Now, Shadows and Symbols. It's very mystical sounding. What series is mystical as fuck of those 3? I shouldn't give you hints, but...
Probably DS9.
It is! You got it!
But
Season 7.
Of the science officer in Enterprise.
Yes.
The Vulcan lady.
Yep.
And she has like a crazy past.
T'Pol.
Yes.
T'Pol. All right. Question 8. Think tank.
Think tank.
Voyager. You are correct. You're doing good, man.
Oh, all right.
Good job. All right. Question number 9. So far, you have like 6 right and 2 wrong. You're doing great. Question 9. Carbon Creek. What series is that from? This is a big one. This is an important episode for this show.
Carbon Creek. Let's see. Man. DS9.
Wrong. It's Enterprise. They go to Carbon Creek in the past. I think it's a time travel episode, if I'm not mistaken. All right. This is your last one. So far, you've got 6 right and 3 wrong. And this is the episode title, Strange New World.
Man. Voyager?
Incorrect. Damn. Enterprise. You got a D. You started out so hot, which is fine. You did a great job, man. 6 of 10. Still a passing grade. You did a good job. That was from Enterprise Season 1. And that...
What
does Al remember? Special edition, name the series.
Like, the big events from each series, and like...
Yep. And there's enough episodes that I think I could do this game a couple times in the future and it would be all right. But yeah, so that's a new game that I tried and you did a good job, man.
Nice.
Thank you so much for sticking with it. Now that brings us to the big old, the main event. That brings us to the meat, as I call it, every week for many, many weeks now. This is where we're going to talk about an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. This week we are discussing Manhunt, which is Season 2, Episode 19. And you might think, Manhunt, they're obviously going to be chasing a fugitive or something, but it ain't that kind of Manhunt, baby, if you know what I mean. This is Season 2, Episode 19. It was written by Tracy Torme, Mel Torme's son named Tracy, directed by Rob Bowman. It's a Bowman. It's a classic Bowman. And if you ask fucking one of the places, it aired on June 17th, 1989 or June 19th, 1989, depending on who you ask. And the Paramount Plus synopsis for this episode reads as follows. In her search for the perfect mate, Troi's mother beams aboard the Enterprise and sets her sights on Captain Picard.
Ruh-roh.
It's funny because one of my questions that we never answer, but just one of my things I have in my notes is what does the title mean? And it's like, this one's pretty straightforward, I think.
Yeah.
I think and it's a pretty funny episode. And I guess we found another reason. I said last week there's only 3 or 4 reasons why they might be zipping around out there. And we get a new one. This week. Why are they
escort somebody?
Yeah, they're escorting. Who are they bringing to where?
It's some aliens to like a conference on Pacifica.
There you go. So they're the Antedans, and they are going to join the Federation. And they're heading to Pacifica to have like the final meetings and ceremonies about it, right?
And you see Picard in his royal garb.
Yeah, and his dress skirt, his dress. I like it. I would totally wear a tartan or whatever that is. It's not
cool.
like a.
It'd be funny
it's
to
not
wear
a kilt,
like Comic-Con or something.
Yeah, I would definitely like to wear a Starfleet dress uniform. I think I would look good in that below the knee kind of. And I wouldn't wear red. I don't think I would do the gold. Or something along those lines. But so tell us about the Antedans, dude. So they beam up a couple of Antedans, and why is Picard in his dress uniform? These motherfuckers are in stasis, Al. What the hell?
Yeah, and it's like they don't immediately know they're in stasis, though. It's a good bit because they all stand there, and Picard's like, "Welcome, I am Jean-Luc Picard, captain of the Enterprise."
And Wesley is like, Wesley's like, what?
And they all just kind of stare. But I guess these aliens love to be in stasis because they're terrified of space travel.
Yeah, how they've dealt with the trauma of space travel is they put themselves in a hibernative naptosis where they just stand there basically. And
sorry. And
no,
it's
that's
like,
okay.
I don't know if they're like wrapped in their clothes already or if it looks like they're wrapped in like another layer of foil or something.
Yes. So they look like fishmen. They've got like what looks like a round shower curtain of silver stuff hanging around them. Yeah. And they've got their food with them, and it's a big bucket of looks like sliced up fish that are bubbling in water. Mm-hmm. And Worf takes a long look at the Antedans, and he goes, "My, what a handsome race!" There's so many funny Worf things in this episode. I absolutely love it. And then we get on the bridge, Wesley's talking about how goofy the Antedans look, and Picard is like, "Wesley," and Data goes, Wesley, prejudice over what somebody looks like is the last shitty prejudice that humans have, so you should stop being such a fucking shithead, dude.
Yeah, and I mean, Picard's like, you have a good point, Mr. Data. You know, I'm sure they find us unattractive as well. And I was surprised Worf didn't speak up.
and Wesley didn't even say, like, I think they're unattractive. He just said they're weird looking. And then they get a call from a transport ship, and Troi is like, oh no. Yeah, because this transport ship has her mother on it, and she pops onto the view screen, and she's like, "This is daughter of the fifth householder of the sacred something of Rix, her holy rings of Betazoid, full ambassadorial status." So, whoops! Now Lwaxana Troi is going to be on the ship, heading, guess where, to Pacifica for the very same conference. Yep. And I like, don't be racist, Wesley. And then that's the end of the cold open. And she says, Jean-Luc, you're having such naughty thoughts. And here's the thing. Jean-Luc isn't actually having naughty thoughts in this episode. We find out that she's going through like Betazoid menopause, beta pause. And they call it the phase. But so her receptors for her telepathy are off, and they plays out in some funny ways. So then Picard and Riker both back in their dress uniforms, with Troi and O'Brien on the transporter pad. They beam Lwaxana up, who's like, "Where are my legs?" She doesn't like being transported.
That's
and of course. This is one of our favorites. That's Majel Barrett. That's Nurse Chapel, who hung out with old Captain Picard, or Captain, old Captain Willie Billy Kirk, old Kirk, James Tiberius Kirk.
Yes.
And she had the hots for Spock. That's the same lady. It's funny because when she's in these episodes, she's her, and she's also the computer voice every time they talk to the computer. That's also Majel Barrett. So they beam Lurch from the Addams Family over with her luggage. Remember in the first episode when Picard carries her heavy luggage? Yeah. Well, in this episode, Riker's like, "I'll carry your luggage. It's not a problem." And then it's very fucking heavy. It's very funny. Very funny stuff.
It's awkward, like, hesitant.
And so she's
like, throwing his back out.
She's very familiar with Picard. She calls him Jean-Luc. Lwaxana Troi immediately proves that she's very racist, talking about how she thinks the fishmen look like they should be dinner. And
oh my god, yeah, that was awful. She was like, last time I saw something like that, it was on a plate.
Yep. And then and everybody's like, "Ooh!" She's like, "I'm glad these fishmen are in stasis and she can't hear them being racist." And her and her daughter have a little telepathic discussion about, like, she goes, "Is Riker still yours?" And she's like, "Humans don't own each other like that." And she's like, "Well, maybe they should." And she's looking at Picard like she's like, "I want to make you my slave, Picard, you old bald bitch." And
God,
Christ,
it's so weird.
She invites him to, Lwaxana says, "Hey, we're going to have a dinner, ceremonial ambassador's dinner tonight." And Picard thinks it's like a dinner for all of his officers, right? And then we cut to the bridge where Riker and Data and Wesley are laughing about how Lwaxana was like trying to get up all on Picard's shish kebab. And Picard is like, "She's an ambassador, you fuckers. She might be kind of weird, but you gotta be a Federation first." The fish folks are still frozen on ice. Picard mentions the dress uniform dinner and he leaves, and Riker's like, wait, hey, what? All right. And then fucking Picard is like wearing his dress uniform again on his way to this dinner, this formal dinner. And he runs into Pulaski and he goes, "I'll see you at dinner." And she goes, "I already ate, Captain, but thanks, I guess." Yeah. Like, she's like, "Well, you invite me to Captain's dinner, I guess." And so Picard shows up at Lwaxana Troi's quarters, and he's the only one there. He's like, "I must be early." "No, you're not early." Lurch then takes the fucking blue wine or whatever that Picard got, and he chugs it all, which is funny, because like that. I wonder why because he drinks booze in the first episode that he's in as well. Because Picard is like, "How could we forget Mr. Hum?" And so Picard quickly realizes that he is the only person who is going to be there. Lwaxana comes out dressed all sexy. They sit down to an intimate dinner. She's obviously wanting to get all up in his business, and he is being evasive.
Yes.
And how does
evasive.
How does he evade her attempts? It is good.
He starts to like bore her, I guess, sort of. and try to distract her with conversation, but she still likes talking to him. But then he decides to take out like his tricorder and call Data and ask him about some weird. Oh yeah, they do like this funny bell ringing.
The Betazoids during dinner, every time somebody eats, they ring the bell.
Yes.
Whenever she takes a bite, right? It's how they honor their dinner or something.
Yeah,
it's
and
weird.
Picard is like, oh, that's a lot like a bunch of other cultures.
Yeah, maybe. I wonder. He goes, I wonder what other cultures have done that. And then he's like, I know who would know. Data. And then he calls Data, and he's like, Data, you should come down here and tell us about these customs. And she's like, oh.
And he goes,
she's like,
Data's stories are stuff of legend.
He goes, yeah, this will be his. She's like, why would I want him during our special time? And he goes, Data's after dinner conversation is fucking amazing. Don't be such an asshole.
Yeah. You know that Picard hates when Data goes off, so.
Yeah, so Data's like happy to get to do it, you know.
Finally.
And the look on Lwaxana Troi's face when Data's explaining this stuff and Picard is like pretending to be all excited about it and she's just fallen asleep. Mm-hmm. And this is where we get Troi and Pulaski in the hallway when Troi is like, I have to tell you about my mom's condition. She's going through the phase, which is basically like menopause or whatever.
Yeah.
And Pulaski's like, I think that's going to be fine for the captain. It'll be good for his agility and his reflexes. And she's like, what? I don't want to fuck my mom. And she's like, no, I mean, avoiding her, like trying to get away from her and wriggle away. It'll be good for him. For staying ahead of your mother, not staying under your mother.
But she also shrugs at the other suggestion, though. She's like, well, either way, Picard's going to test his agility.
Yeah, right? And so Picard weasels his way out of dinner, and he thanks Data for helping him. And Data's like, if you want anecdotes, I've got anecdotes. And this is when Lwaxana explains to Troi what's going on. Troi is like, how far along are you? And she's like, far enough along for me to enjoy it. So basically, Troi goes, what are you going to do about your insane sex drive because of the phase? And Lwaxana says, the only thing I can. I'm going to focus on one guy and just use my mind to mind fuck the fuck out of him. And that guy is Picard. And she goes, he was thinking about banging me all through dinner. And then cut to Picard's office. Riker and Troi are sitting next to each other, and Picard is like, she said I was what? And he goes, I tell you, Deanna, for a telepath, your mother's accuracy leaves much to be desired. And she's like, it's because of the phase. And there's this great little bit with Riker where Riker goes, you know, Deanna told me about this when we first started seeing each other. When Betazoids get to a certain age, they get their sex drive can quadruple. And then Troi goes, or more. And Riker says, or more? You never told me that. And she's like, I didn't want to scare you off. It's a really funny fucking episode, dude.
Yeah. And also there's the there's the other good bit when Picard finally leaves like that first date or first dinner with Data, and he turns to Data, Picard, and he's like, Data, you will never know or understand like how much I thank you for what you just did. What you just
how much
did.
I owe you.
Gosh.
Right? And that then it cuts to Troi and her mom arguing, and then we get this great scene in Picard's office where Troi is like, so basically she's going to focus all of her quadrupled or more sex drive on one guy, and you're an early contender for that crown. And he's like, I love your mother. Your mother is great. She's a handsome woman. But how can I turn her down without ruining, relations between Betazoid and the Federation? And she's like, oh, you can't turn her down. At this stage in the phase, it would fucking kill her if you spurned her advances.
She'll take complete offense.
Yeah, and he goes, well, maybe I should just make myself a little less available. Cut to him going into 1941 in the holodeck doing a Dixon Hill mystery.
Yes.
So
he's just got to chill out and distract himself, you know.
Yeah, he's just got to make himself, as he said, less available. So tell me a little bit about his journey into the holodeck, Al.
Well, he sets it to San Francisco, 1960s.
41, 1941.
Oh, right. So he's a PI. And
yeah, it's Dixon Hill from season 1.
yeah, it's retreading some exciting ground, but also it's funny that he runs into his receptionist, and she's just complaining that he hasn't gone like questing, basically.
Yes, right. It's like if she was your dungeon guide or something, and she's like, you aren't killing any monsters, you're not going on any hunts.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he needs a case basically to keep the lights on, much like Nicolas Cage in Spider Noir.
Oh.
Which I recommended last week. So Picard kicks his feet up, and then we cut to Lwaxana Troi and Deanna Troi, and she's like, "What? I can't see the captain. He's on ship's business that's more important than me." And she's like, "Well, I guess I've got to do my backup plan. It's fine. I have a backup plan, and I guess the backup plan is just try to fuck every other human on the Enterprise crew." Like, that's what it seems to be the backup plan. But then we get back to the holodeck, and Dixon Hill is confronted by a very wise guy-esque guy who's upset that Dixon Hill found a dead lady, and then he pinned the dead lady on this guy's friend.
Yeah.
And then this guy's friend, this guy whips out a gun, and Picard's like, "Computer, stop!" And this is a recurring thing for this scene.
It's like each scenario that Picard is requesting the computer, it gets like more and more perilous.
Yeah, and he's wanting
like,
to have a
chill.
chillaxing. Yeah, which I don't know why you would do a detective thing if
Like
you want to
maybe-
chill, but I get it. And so the people, a litany of people come in and try to kill him, and then he finally says, "Perhaps I'm not being clear," and then it cuts to. Let's see. And then it cuts to Worf and Wesley looking at the fucking, the fishmen, the Antedans, right? And this is a great bit of communication between Worf and Wesley, because Wesley's just like, gosh, they just look so weird. And Worf is like, I think they look amazing. And then he says, is that what you thought about me, Wesley, when you first met me? Did I look like a weird fishman to you? And Wesley's like, yeah, kind of. But now that I know more about Klingons, like, you're fucking rad. And then Lwaxana Troi comes in and is racist to them as well. And she's basically like, Wesley, I can't wait for you to mature. Worf, I would love for you to ravage me, but I'm really looking for a human, so you're just not going to fit the bill, unfortunately. And she says, you could be the kind of man I want. And he's like, I am not a man. And you always forget sometimes that human is, man is short for human. So he's not a man. And she says, you'd have made a fine choice, but I need a human. And she goes off to look for yet another Wingus somewhere. Back to Picard in the holodeck. He's going out. What's happening?
Yeah, they're just psyched out. But
Picard, he offers to take his secretary out for a drink.
Oh,
Because
yeah, that's
he's
right.
like, that'll be less stressful than all this shit that's going on. And she's like, whatever you do, don't go to Rex's bar. And he's like, I'm going to take you for a drink to Rex's bar. And she's like, well, if we're going to Rex's bar, you better bring this gun. And he's like, why? And she's like, I just fucking told you that you shouldn't. Anyway, let's just go. So we get to Rex's bar, old-timey 1940s bar, peanut shells on the floor and shit. And then we find out that Rex and Picard, their testimony put somebody away, right? And also Picard lays this future knowledge on them about how World War II, while it's devastating, it has a bunch of technological advancements. There's like, I don't even know if I should pour you a drink, man. You sound like you're already pretty fucking wrecked. And then Picard smokes a hollow cigarette, and that's very cool.
A hollow cig.
Yep. And so basically, I guess we don't really get much of this. Storyline, right? It's just Picard hanging out in there.
It's just him having fun.
Yeah, there's like they're looking for witnesses. They're talking about how their testimony put this guy away, and he goes, "You're just gonna have to kill this guy, or he's gonna kill us." And it's like, God damn, this is pretty fucking. Picard just wanted to go chill out for like 20 minutes. What the hell?
He just likes solving mysteries, though. That's what it comes down to.
Whether it's a Sherlock Holmes mystery, a Dixon Hill mystery, or a fucking space mystery about a numerical equation from another planet, Yeah. What happens next? Where do we go from there, from the holodeck?
So we see, Lwaxana Troi. on
She
the
storms
bridge.
onto the bridge. Troy's like,
She's just pissed, and she's going after Riker
yep,
now.
now she's got her sights set on Riker, and things get
Deanna Troi is so creeped out.
things escalate. And should this lady really be, when she's in this state, should she really be acting as an ambassador for the Betazoids? She seems irrational.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because she just says, she says, "Hey, so are we going to tell the crew about us?" And she's like, he's like, "What?" And she's like, "We're getting married." And so she basically announces that her and Riker are engaged. And she only says this because Riker is going to talk to the captain. And she's like, well, if you're going to talk to the captain, this is excellent timing. You might as well tell him, that we are engaged to be married. And Troi is just like, my mom is so fucking embarrassing, dude.
Yeah.
And obviously, this is bullshit. They're not going to get married on Pacifica. And so...
And Riker's just got this weird dead look in his eyes.
I think they should be taking this a lot more seriously. She's in the throes of a hallucination. This is more distressing than I think they're letting on. And Data says married, or no, I think Data says congratulations. Let me see here. I rewound it. Riker looks at Data all panicked. He actually looks at Troi and smiles like, "Hey, what the fuck's going on?" And Troy's fucking terrified. I guess Data doesn't say congratulations. So she's like, "We'll talk about the details later," and she leaves, and Troi goes, "William, Mzadi, aren't you going to tell her that you're not going to marry her?" And he's like, "I'm going to let the captain tell her that." He's like, "I'm going to let Captain Picard fucking explain why." And so he's going to go to the holodeck and meet with the captain, and Data's like, "I want to go with, but I need 5 minutes," because Data has to go put on
Data
his
loves a holodeck.
1940s suit. Data's like, "Ooh, I get a chance to dust off the old 1940s suit, right?"
He's hyped. He's excited.
And Riker and Data enter the holodeck, and they just walk right into Rex's bar. And then Rex is like, "Hey, they got time for a round?" And they're like, "I guess." And so then Data and Riker sit down to have a drink, and Picard introduces him as Nails, and Data is Carlos. Riker is Nails and Data is Carlos, and they always say that Data is from South America. Like whenever they're,
because of his skin color.
Whenever they're traveling in time and stuff, they always say Data's from South America. And so
no, but I'm pretty sure isn't the last Dixon Hill episode, when Data shows up, somebody's just like, "What the hell?"
From Argentina or something?
Yeah.
Right? And so
so bizarre.
So basically, they're just chilling out, and they say they're laying it on Rex, the problem that Picard and Riker are having with this lady, right? And Rex has given him bartenderly advice, and then Lwaxana just walks up to one of the panels on in the ship and goes, "Hey, where's Riker?" And they're like, "Riker's in the holodeck." And then
she's like, "Oh, cool."
Cut to Rex's bar, and Lurch and Lwaxana Troi enter, and Rex is like, "What the fuck is going on? Who are these people?" And Picard turns away and hides his face like, maybe she won't notice me. Like, he's such a little baby. I love it. And she's like, "Look, obviously none of you men can handle me, and I'm just not even going to worry about you scrubs anymore." And then something very interesting happens. She starts to hit it off with Rex. And Rex, the holographic bartender, he is stoked because he thinks she's rich because she's wearing a very fancy dress. So he's just like, and the same thing happened last episode with the lady from the Irish colony. She's like, "I bet he's got more than two coins to rub together about the prime minister." I love it when they show you old capitalism or whatever in a Star Trek episode. So basically, Rex and Lwaxana really start to hit it off, and she's like, "I can't even sense your thoughts." Now, I think it's silly that she doesn't notice that he's a hologram.
Yeah.
But they are really hitting it off and steaming things up. And Picard and Data and Riker are watching as they kind of have a little date, her and Rex. And Riker goes,
yeah, but Picard tries to say something, he's like, well, that's because,
and she bowls
then he
over
just gets
him,
interrupted.
And then he says, look, we're gonna tell her, but let's give it a minute. It would be wrong to not tell her. And then we cut to the sick bay where the Antedans have woken up, and they're all like shaking and going, food, and their bucket gets opened up, right? And Worf, for some reason, has the impulse to scoop up a bunch of these fish parts and like hold them out for them to slurp out of his hand, and then he gets out of the way. And then
they just like pummel him.
Yeah, they just push past him and they just start slurping this shit out of the bucket. And she goes, do you want to see your quarters now? And it just cuts to them glooping out of the bucket, cuts to Pulaski's face, cuts to them glooping out of the bucket. And then this is where Picard walks over to Lwaxana and he goes, hey, so you want to get out of here? Tell William I'm sorry, but Rex and I are getting married. And Picard is like, Miss Troi, your government expects me to deliver you to the conference on time, and that's what I intend to do. And so basically, I want to see when she realizes that she still doesn't know that he's a hologram at this point. And then it cuts to the bridge. Let's see here. And then it cuts to the bridge and she's going, imagine allowing me to go on and on like that, talking to a man who doesn't even fucking exist. What the hell is going on? And she says, you said you always like surprises, mother. And so they're seeing her off. Right. And I don't know why the Antedans and Lwaxana have to beam down at the same time. But she's like, you're thinking about fucking me, aren't you? You fucking disgusting fishman.
And the fish people were like, she's gonna degrade us. We're going to transport us separately, please. Yes, for Christ's sake.
Please. She's crazy. Then she says, oh, by the way, I can read your thoughts in your sleep, and you Antedans are fucking assassins. So she undoes she undoes this plot, and they have weapons on them and shit. I totally forgot about this, but in the last 2 minutes of this episode, Lwaxana Troi undoes an assassination plot for those assassins that were going to go down to Pacifica and kill ambassadors. Fucking rules, dude. That's awesome. And she goes, and they're like, well, thanks for routing out those assassins. And she's like, all in a day's work, I guess. I'm out of here. Bye.
Yeah, right.
Bye. And then old Mr. Hammond bows in the back, and we energize them away. And as she's leaving, she says, Jean-Luc, shame on you for thinking such a thing. He's like, she's got the phase. I'm not thinking it. It's the phase.
Yeah, and it's funny, too, though, that Deanna Troi is just like, I don't know. I mean, her telepathic skills are like really powerful. That is why she's an ambassador. Yeah,
she's like the most powerful Betazoid. But she's also got the phase, And there's a great Lower Decks episode where there's some Betazeds and everybody on the ship starts acting crazy, and they think it's because the Betazeds are something to do with their phase or something, but it turns out that it's something to do with the Vulcan on the ship. I thought that there was a post-credit sequence, but it started the next episode. No. So that's the synopsis. What did you think of this episode, Al? What did you think of Manhunt?
It was entertaining. It was just like really funny to see Picard and the gang in like these awkward situations. And then I did like the zip-locked.
Yeah, the aliens in the silver suits, the Antedans. Yeah, I thought it was
Antedans,
back-to-back action-free episodes. I think that's kind of interesting. We get 2 episodes where there's not a lot of phaser fire or perilous whatever.
And when the action started to happen, Picard paused.
Yeah, well, and
literally the whole program.
Which is funny because that really shows you like that really speaks to the episode, right? Like it's like the episode is putting the action on pause in the series. And I always love when Lwaxana Troi is in the mix. She's like great guest star. I do think that it's missing what the last week's episode had with the very, very, all the funny over the top stuff. Like, if you're not going to have action, I think you need to have a little bit more humor than what we get in Manhunt.
Yeah.
Even though there's lots of funny jokes, Worf thinking that those, and it's funny because not only Worf would probably like them as because they're violent assassins as well, you know?
But also, too, though, we get a little bit of humor with, like, Wesley joking with the crew and Riker laughing about the ambassadors and stuff. But then also they're trying to make this funny, like, drama with Deanna's moms.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's going,
it's like,
plus it's going through this, it's, you know, speaking to Beta Zeds, etc. It's like, it's a whole thing. It gets us more. We learn more about an alien race, and that's cool. We learn more about Deanna. She's eventually going to go through this phase. Funny bit with her and Riker on the couch. I really like that. One thing that I thought was weird is that the holodeck is purely a place for Picard to go and not be available for Lwaxana Troi, and the holodeck story doesn't resolve at all. It's like there's somebody that's going to kill Picard and Rex, and that just doesn't get resolved, and that's fine. I like that.
Yeah,
it tells you that hey, the holodeck. Not every time that the holodeck is integral to the story, are we going to get like a holodeck novella, like a holodeck story.
And I also think too, what's funny is about the holodeck is that when Lwaxana Troi tries to look for Riker, the ship is like, oh yeah, he's on holodeck 3.
Yeah.
As if there were like 7 or 8 holodecks, or one for each deck.
There's
or something.
definitely multiple holodecks, and that's cool because that means that there's somebody else who's hiding from somebody else, hiding from some responsibility in a holodeck.
It's like they gotta rent it.
Yeah, man, for sure. So what did you think, Al? Out of how many dinner bells? 1 to 5 dinner bells. What do you give this episode?
It was like 3.5.
Every time your mic crackles and you try to touch the mic or something, I think it's so fucking funny because that's not what's happening. It's not related to the mic, I promise. But yeah, so you give it 3.5, you said? 3.5 dinner bells? So I wanted to give it 3, but then talking about it, you know what? I'm going to give it 3.5 as well because I do think it is a good action-free episode. It's a lot of Picard kind of being on his heels. You get the holodeck, you get a lot of jokes. There's not really any stakes. And then it's so funny that at the end there's like also this whole time there's been this assassination plot just stewing with these aliens in stasis. Like I thought that was so that basically the assassination plot in the last 2 minutes takes it from a 3 to a 3.5 for me. So that's what I'm going to give it. So we both gave it a 3.5.
And they didn't really bother to check the Antedons because they were in stasis.
Well,
because they usually check for weapons and all that, I'm sure.
Right?
You know?
Well, I think that maybe we glossed over it, but I think they explain how they had their weapons hidden on them or something, or like at the end. It's just so great that Lwaxana Troi is just like the phase has been making her think Picard wants to fuck her this whole time, but then it works perfectly to sense the thoughts of the Antedons. She's like, I could sense your thoughts in my sleep, you filthy assassin fishman.
Yeah, it makes you think like, oh, is she fucking with Picard, or is he actually having those thoughts?
I think that she's fucking with no, she thinks Picard, that's what we talked about that a little bit. So what it is it's she thinks Picard is thinking those thoughts, but that's the phase making her ultra horny. It's her horniness trying to trick her, basically. The phase is a little horny gremlin that makes the Beta Z woman do its bidding. But yeah, so 3.5's around for Manhunt. I think we're going to cut this episode a little short because we're having issues with the mic and shit, but we still have more than enough time to cover one last segment. Captain, Adam and Al are recommending things. I repeat, Adam and Al are recommending things. What have you got for us, Al?
I think I'm on Primal. Season 3 of Primal.
Ooh, I never finished that.
That shit's turned
I've
up.
heard it's really fucking good. I love that there's been so much time. I love that there's been so much time between seasons and shit. And
they run into like more humans and all that crazy shit. So that's when they start. Like, you hear a couple of grunts and sentences.
Yeah.
But it's nothing insane.
No,
and they're all still structured really, really, really well.
Yeah, dude, I love Primal. I've only seen the first season, but I definitely need to check out the rest of it. It's so good. It turns up. It's so good.
Because, like, the first season in comparison to what these other two have done is... The first season seems a little, like, by the book, you know? It's like... them trying to get a rhythm of like the design of the monsters and the action and like how they get out of the certain situations, and it shows just like how fucking strong they are,
Yeah, dude.
And then the second and the third season's like, okay, they're gonna
is it the same
put smarter obstacles in front of them, rather than just like monster
is
of the
it the
week.
same characters in the third season, the same savage guy and the dinosaur? Awesome. Well, yeah, so that's...
And it's like them going through
Primal
shit.
is a very easy recommend. It's fucking classic. One of the great
and it's all
things the Cartoon Network did.
Like beautiful.
Yeah, it's Kennedy Tarkovsky. It's great. So my recommendation, I'm going to recommend Widow's Bay, which is on Apple TV. It is it's basically like a parody of the Stephen King universe, kind of. But it's really funny and kind of scary, and it's dark and good, and yeah. So it's got the guy who is Perry Mason and the new Perry Mason in it, and Stephen Root is in it. It's a really great cast. Fucking fantastic stories. It's about like a small island town in Maine where if you're born there, they say you can't leave, and it's like follows the mayor. It follows the mayor as he tries to make it the next Martha's Vineyard, basically, but it's like cursed and like with ghosts and monsters and stuff.
What the hell?
It's really fucking cool. It's very good. So I recommend Widow's Bay, and you're recommending Gennady Tarkovsky's Primal.
Yes.
All right. Well, hey, so that's our discussion of Manhunt and all that other good stuff. Next week, we'll be back to discuss The Emissary. And it's like, The Emissary? What? Is this an episode of Deep Space Nine? Huh? What the who? But yeah, so listen to us next week, and thanks for coming out, gang. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Peace.
165. Trek in the Valley is brought to you by Adam Ordall-Quinnell and Al Hurt. The theme was produced by Al. The episodes are engineered by Adam. You can email the podcast at trekinthevalley@gmail.com, or you can search for us on Blue Sky and Facebook as Trek in the Valley and follow us over there. Please be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, whatever you do on your podcast apps. It really helps us out. And never forget, always explore strange new fucking worlds.